Hi, I'm professional house planner Jack Thomason, and I've had the privilege of working with Shaw Floors on custom home projects for television and magazines across North America. Today I'm doing something a little different. Instead of showing you how to install flooring, I want to show you how to install Shaw laminate flooring on your wall. That's right, on the wall. Accent walls are a major design trend in the world today, and for good reason. They can provide pops of color, draw attention to your favorite feature of a room, provide a focal point in a large space, or simply provide an unexpected level of style and design. One of our favorite looks for accent walls is wood. The colors and graining patterns of wood can bring a touch of nature to a room and can complement any space in a dramatic and beautiful way. First, we want to help you decide where you should place your laminate floor accent wall. This laminate wall installation is meant for walls up to 10 feet tall and up to 40 feet long. That's obviously a very large wall, so it will accommodate most places you might choose. These instructions are not approved for ceilings or other overhead surfaces. Your wall should be painted or primed drywall and properly fastened to a wood frame. Metal stud framing is not approved for laminate to wall installation. Only install in climate-controlled areas where conditions are maintained between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit and 35 to 55% relative humidity. You'll also want to avoid areas where there is excessive moisture, including the backsplash of bathrooms or basement exterior walls. Before you begin, you'll want to check the wall for flatness. It should be flat within 3/16 of an inch for every 10 feet. This is important because if the wall is not flat, the laminate planks will not adhere firmly in place. And before you begin, you'll want to make sure you've read all the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Okay, let's get started. The tools and materials you'll need are a caulk gun, general construction adhesive, a tape measure, 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch brad nails, a stud finder, a ladder, an appropriate saw for cutting and ripping laminate, an 18 gauge brad gun, a dust mask, safety glasses, gloves, a chalk line, pencil, a pry bar, screwdrivers, rubber mallet, and a hammer. Begin by removing existing baseboards on the wall and any electrical outlet and light switch covers. Take care not to touch any exposed wiring and make sure to turn off the power supply while working around exposed power outlets or light switches. Next, locate all studs using a stud finder and then use a chalk line to mark the wall studs from top to bottom. Now, you need to determine whether the installation will start at the ceiling working down or from the floor working up. Starting from the top down is best when there's existing crown molding. When working from the ceiling down, the installation will start from the top left corner of the wall and the tongue of the product will be facing the ceiling. When working from the floor up, the installation will start at the bottom right corner of the wall and the tongue of the product should be closest to the floor. Now you've come to the point in your planning where a quick bit of math will make all the difference in the final look of your wall. The key to a stunning presentation is symmetry. To achieve this symmetry, you'll want to make sure your first row and your last row are the same width. Here's how. Measure the wall from bottom to top, then subtract 1/2 inch. More on this in a minute. Divide by the width of the flooring planks you're installing. How many planks will the wall hold? Half of what remains will be the size of the first row, and the other half will be the size of the last. Now about that 1/2 inch. This is for expansion space. Laminate planks can expand and contract a little with changes in temperature and humidity. If there's no room for expansion, the planks can start to warp. That's why it's important to leave a 1/2 inch expansion space between the bottom row and the floor. Now that you know the width your first row will be, it's time to establish a starting line to keep your first row even. Using a tape measure, pencil, and chalk line, establish this line across the wall. If you're starting at the floor, measure from the floor to the top of where the first row will start, remembering to allow for the 1/2 inch expansion gap at the floor. Using a chalk line, pop a line using these two marks to establish the starting line. This will help you line up the planks in the first row evenly, so all of the following rows will be straight as well. Now you're ready to begin installing your boards. As you install, you'll want to pull planks from multiple boxes to achieve an even color and variety across the wall. Using a construction adhesive, put an S-bead of adhesive on the back of each plank. push the plank onto the wall, lining it up with the starting line that was established. Using the brad nailer, shoot a nail into the groove of the plank into the wall studs. Make sure that the nail head is seated properly, which means the nail head should end up flush with the surface, neither sticking out nor recessed into the plank. Take care not to shoot completely through the laminate, losing the nail into the wall behind. For added support, you may also face nail the first row of planks. Place the nails low enough so that the baseboard or trim will cover the nails. Make sure to use a nail that's long enough to go into the laminate, through the sheetrock, and into the wall stud. When face nailing, the nail head should end up recessed partway into the laminate plank. As you begin the second row, you will need to cut the first plank to keep the end joints staggered by at least 8 inches. This will give the wall an attractive, natural appearance. Once you've cut the plank to the desired length, apply an S-bead of adhesive to the back of the plank. You will need to insert the tongue of the plank at an angle into the groove of the plank in the first row, applying pressure as you rotate the plank flat against the wall. Using the brad nailer, shoot a nail through the groove of the plank into the wall studs. Follow the same procedure for the remaining rows. Always insert the long side seam at a slight angle, and as the top surfaces meet, rotate the plank down into the lock position. Make sure to apply an S-bead of adhesive to the back of all planks and firmly press the planks to the wall. Then shoot a nail through the groove edge of every plank into the wall studs. When it's time for the last row, take a look at the space that's left on the wall. Remember your calculations back in the planning stage? Your final row should be cut to fit the remaining space. Now it's time to give your accent wall the finishing touch. Quarter round or baseboard is ideal for covering that important expansion gap you were so careful to leave. With the accent wall complete, you're ready to enjoy your beautiful finished wall. Even if you've never done a DIY project before, you'll be pleased with how easy this one is to complete. Best of luck on your install, and if you have any questions or need more information, visit the website below or contact the Shaw Product Specialist support team.